After the incredible success of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the first game in the series has received a next-gen update. Or current-gen update? I don't know anymore.
I told you I have no coin, you bastard!
In any case, Henry's going back to his roots, and if you've never played the original, we've got you covered. Here are 9 things to do first in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, updated for current-gen consoles.
Get up now. There's work to be done.
Mother.
We'll break this down into 2 parts. First, the things you can do from the very first areas, Skalitz and Talmberg. Then we'll move on to things you can and should do when you get to the first big-ish city, Rattay. Life in the town of Skalitz can be pretty boring, and the worst part is, you're pretty much broke. Considering it'll take a while for you to start amassing your own wealth, you should be on the lookout for handouts whenever possible. One such early trick comes about when you must collect a debt from the town drunk. When you go talk to Kunesh to get him to pay his debt, tell him you'll tell your father so you don't trigger an immediate fight. Since he's not willing to pay what he owes, you need to find a way to change his mind, like stealing stuff back. However, the trunk in his house is locked. There's a few ways to solve this, like getting your gang to beat him up for the key, but the better way is to get a few lockpicks, so you can keep them for yourself. First, make sure you actually go into his house and look at his locked chest. Otherwise, you won't be able to trigger the option with Fritz to even ask for lockpicks.
A locked chest. I'll need a lockpick to get into that. Fritz might have one.
Then head to the tavern to trigger a cutscene. Afterwards, when speaking to your friends, agree to go along with their plan and follow them to the house. Whether or not you take part in the rabble-rousing, you can ask Fritz then and there to receive 4 lockpicks. You won't be able to get your own until later, and there's more to unlock both in Skalitz and Talmberg that can set you up nicely early in the story.
It's just that someone has something that doesn't belong to him, and I want to take it back.
If you say so. It's not skin off my nose anyway. I've got some lockpicks you can have.
Combat can be brutal in Kingdom Come, but there's usually at least one non-violent way to solve problems. All it takes is some charisma and speechcraft, and new opportunities may present themselves. Fortunately, all it takes for Henry to become a better speaker is to literally never shut up. Skalitz doesn't have many non-story characters to talk to, but even just opening the dialogue tree with traders, even if you don't buy anything, will raise Henry's speech level by a little. But once you get as far as Talmberg, and anytime you find yourself in a new area, be sure to go out of your way to chat up the locals. Ask them how they're doing, how the local lord treats them, and if they need any help, and so on. All of this will quietly build Henry's speech skill, as will haggling and other attempts at persuasion. This will enable you to score better deals when haggling with merchants, and get more information out of people who may be unwilling to talk otherwise. 2 more things to keep in mind are your clothing and your hygiene. If Henry's wearing rags, or it's been too long since his last shower, people will think less of you, so make use of public wash basins and bathhouses whenever you come across them to top off your charisma. Unless you have the perk that makes chicks into that. But come on, Henry. You can do better.
Make it quick, though. I don't care much for your scent.
After you arrive at Talmberg, Henry will eventually need to find a way to leave. Before you make your escape, be sure to sneak into the guardhouse above the main gate to the castle. This area is rarely patrolled and contains bows, arrows, and a locked trunk full of armor for you, which should be no problem for the lockpicks you obtained earlier. You'd normally have to wait much longer or pay a pretty penny to find armor of this quality. This is also good knowledge to have when exploring other castles in the game. Even with a full garrison, there are often places you can slip into and steal from. Speaking of which, sure, Henry may daydream of becoming an honorable knight, but here in reality, you have to get your hands dirty if you want to survive. There are many opportunities in the first few areas of the game to get your hands on a lot of items. It's even more important to note that not all of these items are marked as owned. Pay close attention when raiding pantries of Skalitz or the castle in Talmberg. If the prompt says rob, then people won't like you if they catch you. But if a container just says open or food lying around says pick up, you can freely take what you please. If an item is recognized as stolen, it will have a red hand next to it in the inventory. You can sell these quote-unquote non-stolen items, the ones that don't say rob when you acquired them and don't have a red hand, back to vendors and cushion yourself with a few extra groschen early on. We'll cover what to do with stolen loot in just a bit.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure, why not?
When Henry finally arrives in Rattay, he'll be temporarily bedding at the local mill, much to the ire of the miller. However, there's more to Miller Peshek than meets the eye. Early on, he'll ask you to perform an odd task for him, If you decide to take him up on his request, you'll eventually learn of the miller's less than honorable lifestyle. For most skills, Henry only needs to try his hand at that skill to get better at it, but when it comes to pickpocketing, you won't know how to on your own. It turns out only Miller Peshek can teach you, for free, and after that you'll be able to level the skill like any other. It's a risky way to make a living, but pickpocketing can net you some easy money. The miller is also a fence, meaning he's someone who can buy stolen goods from you. If you try to sell stolen items to regular merchants,
No, that looks like stolen goods. I won't buy that.
if you follow the main story after arriving in Ratai, you'll eventually be told to go see Bernard for training. We would advise you do this ASAP, as Bernard will teach you some valuable techniques to keep yourself safe. You'll also earn the opportunity to win Hans's bow from him in an archery contest and sword fighting duel. He talks a big game, but he's not too hard to beat. We just recommend you make a manual save before approaching the archery range so you can retry if need be. You can keep returning to Bernard periodically to learn more self-defense and earn more combat experience for vital skill points. Combos and master strikes are particularly useful for taking on tougher enemies. In 1403, Bohemia was pretty terrible when it came to literacy rates. As the son of a blacksmith, Henry begins the game illiterate. Don't believe me? Just try and read a book in the game. You can take time to parse things out, but all the words will be scrambled. Why is reading in the Middle Ages worth it, you may ask? Because certain books you can find in Bohemia are skill books, and fully reading them will increase your skills in charisma, pickpocketing, and everything in between. Reading becomes even easier when lying in bed or sitting at a desk, but like pickpocketing, you can't learn without a teacher. If you ask particular people around Ratai, such as the bailiff you'll encounter during the main quest, they'll tell you that a scribe in the town of Uschitz, to the far northeast close to Talmberg, is available to teach people how to read, and you'll need 50 groschen to pay for his training. Be sure to find a breather between main quests and exploring to take a trip up there and get your reading on. It may just save your life one day. Another big benefit of learning how to read is understanding alchemy recipes, so you can brew important potions like Savior Schnapps. There's an alchemist in Ratai that will train you for 60 groschen to increase your alchemy level, but visiting him isn't necessary for brewing potions. You can simply walk into the building behind his shop and start using the alchemy bench. There are also a ton of nettles that grow right by the door, an important ingredient in many potions. The more you successfully brew potions, the more your alchemy skill will rise, and the more mistakes you can make while still yielding potions. Eventually, you'll even be able to brew multiple batches with a single recipe. Alchemy is also a great way to earn some money, as potions can sell for quite a bit, and the ingredients are often free, as long as you can find them. In Kingdom Come Deliverance, you'll always need to keep one eye on Henry's health, energy, and nourishment. There are many ways you can treat these needs, like resting in bed to refill health and energy, but having food ready to fill your stomach is a must. You'll always find easy food near towns. You can help yourself to some stew at a camp, or buy some produce in the market, but it's in the wilds where you need to be careful, especially when you survive a fight far from home with the wind knocked out of you. Unfortunately, a lot of food you can obtain will go bad over time, increasing the risk you get food poisoning when the freshness drops. You can prepare for this by investing in dried food. Dried fruit, meat, and mushrooms all have unlimited durability, and will never drop in freshness, and they're pretty nourishing to boot. You can find a lot of these items on the bodies of villagers tragically killed by invading mercenaries early in the game, and also from food vendors. And those are things you should do first when diving into the Kingdom Come Deliverance Next Gen update. Are you excited to relive the beginning of Henry's journey? Let us know in the comments below, and for everything else gaming, you're already in the right place. IGN.